You are not your code. You want to learn how to write code faster, cheaper, better? Greetings, I'm Dr. Will, and welcome to Dr. Will's Software Quality Channel, where we raise the quality of software being written today. The last thing I would suggest is holding more meaningless meetings. The problem is not the meetings per se, but how meaningful they are. If you've already subscribed to the channel, I'd like to thank you. If you haven't and you'd like more content like this, then I invite you to subscribe and hit the bell below for notification when more content becomes available. Once you learn to accept the fact that you're a fallible human being, you won't get in a defensive crouch every time somebody criticizes your work product, whatever that is. Generally, your life is going to be improved by the growth of any virtue, in this case, humility. The big win is that your willing cooperation will help you become a better programmer or developer. Now, it is popularly and incorrectly believed that all programmers are or should be introverts. As they say, an extroverted programmer is one who looks at your shoes while they're talking to you. But programming, software development, or engineering is a people business. A person who has trouble communicating with customers or their coworkers is a liability, no matter how fast they may sling code. In fact, owing to their lack of communication skills, they may be more of a liability the faster they can sling code. Recently, we were cleaning up some code written by a former teammate who had imported a bunch of complexity into a project to solve a fairly simple problem. Now, there's two problems here. First, there was an obvious breakdown in our software inspection process, and we immediately moved to fix that. Second, the programmer was running open loop and did not understand that they would not be the one maintaining the code. Clearly, this could have been prevented by a better inspection process. Now, not every organization is immediately ready to start implementing a software inspection or peer review process. So here's an inspection readiness framework to see if your team is ready. It consists of three areas: people, process, and technology. First, on the people side, you have to have a champion for the inspection process. Somebody has to be advocating for it and care enough about it in order to communicate that to the other parties involved. Second, the management has to be behind it. Without a commitment from management, nothing is going to get done. Warning: do not proceed without upper level management or leadership commitment to the inspection process. Finally, the team understanding has to be built. Primarily, that begins with the understanding that you are not your code. You are not your work product. When I very first started programming, I was introduced to the concept of what was called egoless programming at the time. What's important here is to have a personal commitment to quality rather than being right. It's an odd situation among engineers sometimes that they care more about winning the argument, proving that they're right, rather than building the best possible quality code. There's two main areas of process that we have to care about. First is the policy structures, and then training. As far as policy is concerned, you need a policy where the code is reviewed and not the person. It's the other side of the coin from egoless programming to say that when we review code, we're not going to review the person. For example, it doesn't help a person develop an egoless programming attitude if the comment is, "What moron wrote this code?" You do see this sort of attitude among programmers from time to time. The second part of this is that the results should not be used for the measurement of personnel. It's one thing to identify the fact that, say, a programmer keeps making mistakes in a certain area with a certain technology and use that for remediation, that is, for providing training for that person to get better in that particular area. It's another thing to say, well, this person made fewer mistakes than that person, so therefore they're going to get a raise and the other person isn't. That's not how it should be used, and if it is used that way, then it will cause the process to fall apart. On the training side, the first bit of training should be how to conduct an effective meeting. Please, there's already a conventional wisdom surrounding meetings that they're all useless wastes of time. That's not true. If a meeting is conducted effectively, a lot of work can get done. Information can be broadcast to many people, and there can be a sharing and development of a cooperative attitude among the parties involved. And this is an effective use of that time. The next bit of training should be on the inspection process itself to make sure that the inspection is conducted effectively, efficiently, and that all the parties know what it is they're supposed to be looking for. On the technology side, you may be conducting reviews asynchronously using a tool to conduct the review process. There are various tools out on the street that are available for that, and if you are going to do that, then of course you need training in the use of that tool. The most important tool, though, is probably an issue tracking tool. That way you can identify the errors, track them, ensure that they get fixed, and tie them back into your testing and inspection process. The other part of technology that's important is defect measurement, rates, and reporting, basically, to help guide the decisions about how the process should proceed in the future. The most important challenge to overcome is convincing management that it's important to have a quality process, especially one that appears to be so manpower intensive, that it is crucial for the success of the product and ultimately the company to have such a process. That argument is made by the data that shows that industry-wide, software inspections in particular have a proven track record of showing a positive impact to the bottom line. Now, a decision about how much time to spend on inspections is going to be a risk-reward decision made by management as to a trade-off between how much time to spend on quality processes and, let's say, time to market. Oftentimes, time to market tends to win those kinds of arguments, especially when you're dealing with a minimum viable product in SaaS space, for example. But quality can't have no impact on that process because not even early adopters are going to want a software system that calculates wrong results or crashes all the time or has a horrible user experience. To recap, first of all, inspections help us improve as programmers and developers. Second, even introverts will benefit from attending review meetings. Third, we discovered too late that our inspection process failed and caused rework, reducing unneeded complexity introduced into a project by a now departed programmer. Inspection readiness boils down to people, process, and technology. Each are important, and the approach needs to be balanced. Finally, convincing management to make a commitment to inspections is the most significant challenge to overcome in getting an inspection process stood up. This channel is dedicated to quality, especially software quality, so if you'd like to have more content like this, then I invite you to subscribe and hit the bell below for notification when more content will become available. Also, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments below or send them along to us, and we'll be happy to answer them in a future segment. That's it for me, for you for now. I hope you have a great day, a great week. Be careful out there. I'll be seeing you. Bye.